We have a new World Heavyweight Champion. We have a new Women's Tag Team Champions and one of the best nights of SummerSlam Night 1 history. This is the first ever SummerSlam 2-night party. This is also the very first time in a very long time I am doing a video on my own. So if you haven't already, please make sure if you watch this on my channel, please make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe. If you're watching this on OLE YouTube channel, make sure you hit the like and hit the subscribe. And if you're watching this on Twitch, make sure you hit the follow. And make sure you stick around because after this intro, we're going to have a deep dive into SummerSlam Night 1. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back ever so much for this first time ever of Night 1 and Night 2 of SummerSlam. And the first time in a very long time, I am doing a show on my own. If you haven't ever said already at the beginning, we have got a quick dive into things that we've got coming up. We have got Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus, as I call them, the Bron Breakker versus Bronson Reed. We also have the Women's Tag Team Championship match, where we had Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez going up against Charlotte Flair. And we will also be having Alexa Bliss. We will be talking about a match that I am going to lose my shit over, and that is Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn. We also have Tiffany Stratton versus Cargill. And then we have, as I called it on my notes, the Jelly Roll tag team match. And then in the main event, we will be discussing the WWE World Heavyweight Championship fight that just ended SummerSlam. Hello, hope you're doing well. Hope everything's okay with you. Thank you ever so much for joining me here today. And make sure as well, whatever you're watching this on, make sure you hit the like, follow, or subscribe into this. So let's get into this. My overall thoughts of SummerSlam. I would say if I'm going to rate it out of 5, I'm going to give it a 4 and a 0.8. The reason why I'm giving it a 0.2 less is because of a certain Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross match. And we will get into that a little bit later. If we're going to go through it quickly, do a quick overview, I think my match of the night will probably be for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Hello, Ed. Hope you're doing well, my friend. I know you're having a rest up this evening, but make sure you're all fit and ready. And hope you're having a 3.75 for tonight's show. That's from Edward. He is going for that. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts on that so far. Let's kick things off. As I called it on my notes, the Samoan Bloodline. I don't know why I called it that. I could have just put the Bloodline. But the Samoan Bloodline versus Bron. I thought this was a very slow but incredible storytelling match. I think that going into this, I knew that I thought that Bron Breakker was going to do something. I also thought during this match that Bronson Reed was going to be the one who takes the pin. I don't know why I thought this, but there was something deep down inside of me that just kept going. They're not going to sort of jeopardize Bron Breakker yet, but they're also not going to get Roman Reigns to come back after what happened at WrestleMania and lose. So my thoughts going into this, I thought it could be interesting, but I just think there's a couple of spots in the match that I really, really enjoyed. It was the incredible timing between Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed to stop the tag from Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. I thought that was brilliant timing there for the way that they were both able to, one, knock Roman Reigns off the corner, and the other to stop Jey Uso making the tag. I thought that was absolutely incredible, and it was really good to see as well. I'm also a little bit surprised about the jump over the top rope, should we call, from Roman Reigns, who decided that he forgot how to do it because it's been so long how to do it, that he would try and leap all the way up to the Titantron. That's how high that man flew. And that's how far that man went. Unfortunately, or fortunately for him, he was able to very quickly tuck and roll and be able to safely plant his way down, which was absolutely brilliant for him. And I just thought it was a good start to the show. We had a little bit of the 1D Jimmy and Jay did when they were in the bloodline. And I think that one of the talking points of this match and one of the talking points moving forward is obviously going to be the story around it, that Roman Reigns sacrificed himself. A man that's always been a self-centered person, always been about himself, was for one night only able to sacrifice himself for the greater good, and that was to help his cousin Jey Uso to be able to do the spear and the Uso splash to Bronson Reed to pick up the victory. I do also think as well that there was a little bit hanging injury to Bron Breakker. You saw at the end of the night, and there was clips going around as well, that as he was walking up around the back of the entrance where they come out from, that he was leaping up the steps with Paul Heyman helping him up. So interested to see if that's going to be another injury on the cards for WWE, or he will be okay, just a bit of a niggle and be able to move on from that. So for me, I'm going to rate this match. I want to hear your comments as well in the comments down below. If you're watching this live, put it in the comments now. If you're watching this after the fact, then please put down in the comments down below your rating for this match and what you thought of that and where you thought this went. And we've got a comment here from Ed saying, good match, but I feel it went too long, but enjoyed the beats here more than other matches that went too long. A 4 for this match from Edward. I enjoying the show. Enjoyed watching the show. Yeah, it was a good show. And I want to get your sort of ratings as well for the match. It's gone for 4. I'm going to go for a 4.5. I just thoroughly enjoyed this match. Yeah, I can understand people saying it's too long, but it's Roman Reigns. What do you expect a match to be? Slow pace, and then for it to pick up. Next up, let's get into the next match, and it is obviously for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. I think there is a common theme we're going to be talking about for the matches that are coming out for this evening, and it was basically a slow start with a big end. I think that is probably the best way to describe night one of SummerSlam. I thought that this match had a very slow, methodical way of doing things. I think that one of the big talking points coming away from this match was how good Roxanne Perez looked. I think she has absolutely elevated her game. And I also want to say as well, in this match, that Raquel Rodriguez, there was a conversation that happened even before Evolution with Kevin Nash that said she needed to be more of a big person, like a Kevin Nash type of wrestler. And she went away and thought about it, and she's come back. She's been absolutely phenomenal. The match she did with Evolution being the dominating one, plus others as well, she has really shown above. And then you had the team of Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss coming into this. Was there a chance of a turn for Alexa Bliss? There's always been a lot of talk over the past few months, ever since she returned, that she will be aligning herself with the White Six. But that will most probably happen a little bit further down the line, with the White Six going after their 6-man tag TLC match coming up tomorrow night. But I do think that this was really, really good. And very much this as well. I love the match. Roxanne and Raquel were good here. Charlotte and Alexa were telling a story we've seen before, but I like what's going on. Absolutely. I think we all know the end goal here, and we all know what the ending's going to happen. But One of the things I do like to see is a lot more Alexa Bliss and a lot more Charlotte Flair. And we had a bit of a moment in there where Alexa accidentally hit Charlotte, had to drag her back to her corner to make the tag, was going to go for Sister Abigail DDT. Charlotte Flair runs in, sees what she's doing, big boot to Raquel Rodriguez, sends her out the ring, where Roxanne Perez was able to pick up the pieces and able to pick up the win, which is absolutely incredible. And now we have new women's world tag team champions. I want to hear what your ratings are of this match in the comments down below. As I'm going to frequently say during this show, if you're watching this after the fact, after this live show, then please put in the comments your rating. And if you're watching this live, let me hear what you've got to say out of 5. I'm going to give this a 4. I just think that slow start was a little bit too slow for me. But I do absolutely think that the women put on an absolutely incredible show. And I think that the women's tag team division is now going to be elevated a lot more, and I think turning Charlotte Flair into a face type character at this point, and she's just going out there. If you watched Unreal, you'll see that she's sort of just enjoying herself now. It's got that pressure off, doesn't need to elevate, or needs to elevate, but able to not have the whole workload herself, which I think is incredible to see. We got a comment here. The match for World Women's Tag is exciting character development for Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, something that Asuka is lacking since getting called up to the main roster. Also, the lack of storytelling for Asuka as well. Don't get me wrong, I like Kabuki Warriors, but they need more character development and storytelling. I get what you're saying, but Asuka is just phenomenal on her own. 4.5 out of 5 for me. It was a fun match. 4.25 for me. That was very good. It didn't feel too long. Now, we're going to go into a match in a moment that I'm probably going to piss a lot of people off. And I am going to say now in advance, I don't particularly care because this match thoroughly pissed me off. And we are talking about, I've just realized I do have graphics at each match, which could have made it a lot easier. It's this match here. It is Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Now, I had slight hopes in this match that this match was going to be a really good storytelling match. And I had hopes that WWE would do the right thing. I'm also not on the massive bandwagon of pushing Karrion Kross. I am someone that thinks Karrion Kross should be seen more. I think he's got a good story in him, but I'm not feeling it as much as what I see online or in the crowd. But this was absolutely woeful, ending to a story. I think that they just did this to appease the fans. I think they've gone, well, you got what you wanted now. Shut the fuck up. I think the wrong story was told in this. Sami Zayn looking like a heel at one point. I was like, we're not getting the boring Sami Zayn story where he always has to fight within himself to get out the other side and be able to prove himself. We know Sami Zayn can fight within. We've seen it fucking million of times. Why do we have to see it every time? And the whole story now is about Sami Zayn going after the World Heavyweight Championship and trying to win it for the first time. For the love of God, please do not let that happen anytime soon. And I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon after what happened after the main event. But I just think it was absolute horseshit. I think the way that they did the match, I think the beating from Sami was giving Kross was good. I also think as well, it was very much one of those where Sami was like, he's got a bit of an edge to him, but then they didn't pull the trigger on that. Karrion Kross had good moves in that, but it was just a bit utter bollocks. This is apparently Sami Zayn, Karrion Kross's last match. Okay, but there was no. You could have swapped. I really, and I mean this respectfully as I could, but you could have swapped this match for Julia versus Zelina Vega. That would have been a lot more interesting than the way they did this match here. I think maybe it was just a nice little send off, or there might be more for Karrion Kross to do. There was a little bit of a tester for him. I'm not particularly sure. But for me, I can't stand the Sami Zayn bullshit story that we're getting every single time. I think it's a load of bollocks. I think it's a load of crap. I'm sick of seeing it every single time, and I don't ever want to see it again. We've got Edge here saying, I like this match. A very nice goodbye for Cross. And guys, Sammy got the win here, and Sammy versus Steph at Survivor Series will be fun. I really hope we don't see that. I really hope we don't see that at all whatsoever. Sami Zayn doesn't deserve it, and I think it'd be a load of bollocks to put him in there. Right. I'm going to give this match a 1.5. Anyone else got any other comments for that? Sammy is not better than Gunther. I'm not even going to show that comment because after what we saw in the main event, he is definitely not better than Gunther. So before we get into this any further, there is a calendar that comes up on our local establishment during the week as we're halfway through the proceedings. Yes, this is not going to be the hour-long production that we do going into things. This will be, for me, quite nice. A quick show, because as you can tell by the time there, I don't know whether you can see it back to front, it is currently 20 to 3 in the morning. I am very, very tired, but I am here. It's SummerSlam Night 1, and let's have a look at the shows that you've missed and the shows that are coming up.
Never gonna stop, never gonna change, never gonna do the things you say. Run my own way to get there. Pulls a coin and I don't seem to care. In the air, no more crowd, just the opposite kind of few clouds. So tell me this time is coming for the sake of all your lies. Why don't you try to be wise? Now that I need you anyway. I never wanted to be alive, just to feel like I'm fading. And though my heart breaks a beat at time, I cross the lens just to tell you, don't lead the way, don't even say that I try with a just playing parade. I feel like I'm fading.
Unfortunately for you all, I will be back tomorrow talking POV with Andre and Bobby, where we are building up. We had the return of the Football League weekend that will be happening, plus big breaking news that's happening in the NFL over the weekend. And we also have the Formula One Hungaroring race as well. And we have that coming up, and we will be discussing that. That is all. The down below in that banner is all for our local establishment. That was where you can check all of the stuff that is coming up and the stuff you may have missed earlier this week. Right. Let's get into one of the matches for me of the night. And it was this. It was for the WWE Women's World Championship. And I have to say, I am slightly shocked at the winner of this. I did not call this. I did think that we would be seeing a new champion. That has nothing against Tiffany Stratton. I just felt that the way that they were pushing Jade Cargill recently, getting through Evolution, not only that, getting through WrestleMania, and been able to pick up and winning the Queen of the Ring as well. For her to then fall short was a little bit of a shocker, which then lightens me to go, are we going to be seeing the King of the Ring going to be winning because the Queen of the Ring didn't? I hope not. But that is something I was very surprised that I think Tiffany Stratton has been absolutely tremendous WWE Women's Champion. And I think the way that she's carrying the SmackDown Women's Division is good. I just need to see her with different opponents, not Nia Jax. I don't want to see her with Nia Jax. I want Jade Cargill. I would like them to run it back and do a little bit differently. You got Selena Vega, I'd like to see have another go at the Women's World Championship as well. There is a lot of women on that SmackDown roster that deserve to have a chance. But I do think the counteracting that they both of them did, I think the Jade Cargill hit, and it was then when she rolled through, able to put her feet onto the rope. I disagree with the comment from Ed, but I understand what he was saying. From that, he's saying that it's a surprisingly good match. I thought Tiffany Stratton would lose, but like her winning, this match needed half the time than the match followed. Absolutely not. The match followed was impeccable for my eyes and my beliefs on that one. She did, and I think it was one of those that WWE is still trying to push her forward and trying to see if she can really do it without the Naomi or the Bianca to try and help her through. So I think that they're slowly getting to grips with the Jade Cargill that they want and the Jade Cargill to push herself forward. But I do think this match was brilliant for this. And I do like this. This is an absolutely incredible comment. Happy National Ice Cream Sandwich Day. Now, over here in the UK, we don't have ice cream sandwiches, but I do like the sound of that. That does, and that sound like an incredible day to have. So, if you're celebrating that, enjoy your ice cream sandwich. I do love the sound of that from it. But I will give this match. I think both of them really handled it. And we've got a couple of comments here. Ed, I will go back to yours in a sec, but we will go to this one. I'm surprised that Jade lost clean. So what was the point of Jade being asked at Night of Champions at the Queen of the Ring? I mean, we could have got it. But no, I disagree. Well, then who's going to win? Io's already after the World Heavyweight. It was already champion. Asuka losing was to push Jade and get her in that with an experienced competitor and have her go against someone like Asuka could really sort of propel her into those sort of matches that she's in. It wasn't clean, but it was clean. There will be points of where Jade Cargill will go, if I did this differently, I would have been world champion. But you've got to also remember, I think this was her first women's championship match since being singles championship match since being in WWE. So even though she's been there a little longer, she's also had a couple of injuries, set her back a bit. She's also been in the performance center working a lot. I just think we've got to treat Jade like a newcomer, and we're not treating her like the experienced veteran. A bit like Tiffany, if you think about things, Tiffany Stratton is much more of a veteran in this than what Jade Cargill is by the amount of matches Tiffany has had compared to Jade. So I do think that this was the right decision. I do think that having this type of match was a good thing to do. And I think getting Jade this experience will help her moving forward. And I think her pushing herself forward a little bit more. Ratings here, we've got Ed saying a 3.75. It had 7 more minutes. It would have been I don't care about how long matches have. It's all about what they do in that allotted time. And for me, I'm going to give it a 4.5. I think the quick action, the quick tempo, Jade holding her own, Tiffany holding it out, and Tiffany walking away, your WWE Women's Champion. And then we're going to go into the next match for you, and it is the penultimate match before the main event, where we had the incredible tag team match. The outsider that Logan Paul keeps calling Jelly Roll teamed up with his idol and his friend Randall Keith Orton against Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. This match was very slow to begin with. Very slow to begin with. Jelly Roll did a really good facial expressions and acting in this. I was very surprised at the way that he was selling things. You could tell that they trained him more on selling than they did on some of the moves. I think the way that he built himself up in this match as well, and to get the crowd really behind him, showed him what an absolutely incredible competitor he is. Randy Orton as well, being the apex predator and trying to help out as well. But then you had to going up against, and as Michael Cole and Wade Barrett truly said, this was really a handicap match for Randy Orton because Jelly Roll is green, is new. Yes, that is the joke, bud. That is the joke. Yes, it's very much Logan Paul saying he is a full-time wrestler, letting the outsiders come into it. It's fully tongue-in-cheek joke that you can go, okay, all right, I see what you're doing. Type of thing from there. And I do think that, and I want to say a big congratulations or fair play to Jelly Roll for being there for that table spot. And sometimes you get those people that will do it, but Jelly Roll took that like an absolute champion. The way he did that. Here we go. It was barely passable for, let alone a big 5 PLE. That was awful. No, it wasn't. You're always going to get that. It wasn't awful. It was a good match, a very good match. You had Randy Orton doing the good stage. You had the storytelling that is very much for it. If you're a pure wrestling enthusiast, if you love the wrestling side, then you are going to get it. Hello, Amanda. Hope you're doing well. We can see the comment, but we are not there just yet. But stick around. We will be getting to that. But Jelly Roll did an absolutely incredible. The way that he did it, the way that he sold, the way that he come back into it. Didn't pick up the win, which I think was the right choice. I don't think Jelly Roll and Randy Orton would have been passable for a victory in this match. But I think the Claymore to the face and then the Frog Splash really did do that. Ratings for everyone in the chat. I'm going to be giving this a 4. I think this was incredible. If Jelly Roll, who lost all that weight, who did an absolutely incredible weight loss on doing that, and I think that the way that he performed as well was someone that should be getting a lot more respect for it, and I think that he deserved that, and very much as well. -5 for Ed. That's why we don't show it, and then we got a 4 out of 5. For this as well. Right, we are now time for the main event of the evening, and it was very much of would they pull the trigger, would they not? And unfortunately for me, they did. This is for the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Now, if you don't know Gunther's career, I'm going to give you a little bit of history. Gunther taps out very quickly in matches. He has a history in it. He did it against Ilya Dragunov when he lost the NXT UK Championship. He tapped out very, very quickly. He also never gets busted open, ever. Also, as well, Gunther, when he is back against the wall, he very much struggles to come out of it. That has been Gunther's career. That has been the slight little weakness in Gunther is as soon as some things get really, really tough and they get really, really on the back of him, he struggles to fight his way out of it. And that was the proof here today. It was very much the same way of Gunther's career, and I think it was the right way to do things. I think if you're going to lose the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, you're going to win it against Jey Uso again. You're then going to go up against the guy that probably doesn't deserve a retirement match, but got a retirement match in Goldberg. You beat Goldberg, and then you've got to go up against CM Punk. And I think the storytelling of CM Punk's time in WWE was very much exactly what we saw in this match. Never give up, never slow down, and never stop fighting. Always finding a way to pick up the victory, always coming from behind to do it. CM Punk, since that injury at the Royal Rumble, ever since he's come back, has been nothing but top notch. And I think he deserves all the plaudits. And I think that is quite funny. And I think that he's it's quite funny that CM Punk, we'll get to that in 2 seconds. We've got a comment here. Here we go. I'm sick of this. Gunther is a cocky snob. He deserves to lose over and over if that's the match he's going to keep having in big spots. However, this match was excellent. It's very much, Gunther is very much now the guy that he will take the reins, make the world title as big as it possibly can. And then when it needs to be passed on to someone, it gets passed on to the right person to take it forward. I think Gunther doing this and having this story is very much of, okay, you defeated me. You're now on to being the best in the world. And I think that's probably the greatest moniker that you can have in WWE right now, is being given that mantle of being the best in the world. And I think CM Punk proved today that he is very much one of the best in the world. He can fight from behind, can do anything he can. And then there was a discussion we had on our Discord where at one point, because I was very wary that the injury wasn't talked about enough. The injury wasn't really discussed. And I just felt like something was going to happen. And then there was one discussion that Ashra Pizarro put up, was that Bron Breakker could take the briefcase and cash it in if his knee injury is that bad. But then we saw that the Seth Rollins music hit. We saw him come out to the stage on crutches with the knee brace, and then he's saying, just wait, I'm coming back for it. He turns around, walks away, throws the crutches down, gets the knee brace off, runs down to the ring, gets Jessica Carr into the ring, beats him down with this briefcase, stomps him in the head, and now Seth Rollins is your new world heavyweight champion. So the beginning of night one of WrestleMania, of SummerSlam, sorry, to the end, there have been 3 world heavyweight champions. We had Gunther walking in, we had CM Punk in the middle, and then we had the Seth friggin' Rollins show to end it. I'm going to give this match a 4.9. I'm just a little bit sad that Gunther lost because I'm a massive Gunther fan, but I do understand the storytelling, and I think the way that they portray Gunther now is exactly what Gunther needs to be. The big, badass, bad bully that will beat you down, take you down, but then as soon as things slightly go out of his way, he struggles to fight back into that. And I'm interested to see. Right, we are going to end the show here. We've just been gone live for just over 31 minutes, and we're going to end it there. We will be back tomorrow for SummerSlam Night 2 review. We have got some excellent matches coming up for you tomorrow, so make sure to stick around for that. And we will be back tomorrow for a little bit more with Bobby Munson and Andre, plus other shows as well that is on this, but we're going to give you a fond farewell, and thank you guys ever so much for watching. There's going to be 2 outros. I do apologize. There's going to be my own outro, and then there's going to be the new OLE outro that we are going to be doing, so I can put stuff on both. But we're going to see my outro first, and then we will then go into OLE. So we're Love with Care. My name's been Mark. You guys have been amazing. And if you don't know who I am, I will be playing my banner down below. I have Mark Talks Football, I have Mark Talks Wrestling, and I have Mark Talks Men's Health, where I talk about men's mental health with other guests that I can get coming on. We had Andre C. from our local establishment come on earlier this week. We also have Melville Collins coming up to you next week. And I also have another guest that I just recorded recently that will be coming up to you the week after that. But we're Love with Care. My name's Mark. You guys have been fantastic, and we will see you guys tomorrow for more of great WWE content. And we will see you guys. I don't know what happened there.
Let's go. Yo, I'm like an addict, ooh, I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it. Fuse like a magnet.